Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are picking my July reads. June has been chaotic for me. We moved, so this is my first TBR video in my new office, so kind of figuring out the setup there. I went to a conference and yeah, it's just been a lot of adjustment in June, but I have done quite a bit of reading. So let's go over my June TBR so you know where that's at, and then we'll go over a couple more things and then we'll pick my July TBR. Also, I am getting really low on prompts, so I either need to add some more or I'm gonna dump all the ones I've used back into here. So the first thing is, as you can see here, I have two books that are still here on my June TBR. I am actually reading this one right now. I'm on chapter 12, so about 100 pages in to a 500-page book. So I'm about 1/5 of the way through. I actually borrowed this one from the library on Libby so I could read it on my Kindle. So I've been doing that. The font in here is just really small, so sometimes I prefer to read it a little bit bigger. Woo! On my Kindle. So that one's gonna be finished, so I'm just gonna pop that one over here because I'm currently reading it. And then I still have about a week left of June, so I have Under the Lilacs still to read. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get this done, so stay tuned for all the books I read in June to see if I actually did finish my June TBR, which will be the first time this year. So I'm gonna keep that one off to the side as well and not pick from that one for my July TBR. However, I did go buy some books today. Did I need to buy them? No. Did I want to buy them? Yes. Well, the reason I went to the bookstore is because I did read Fourth Wing and I absolutely needed to read Iron Flame. I read Fourth Wing pretty much in one sitting. I'd started it and then got really busy. I was only like 30 pages in and then I sat down and read the whole thing. So I picked up Iron Flame because I need to know what happens next. So that one is an option to read. And then of course, when you're at the bookstore, at Barnes, they suck you in with the buy one, get one 50% off. And this one is one that has been on my list for a little bit. The First to Die at the End. This is the prequel to They Both Die at the End, which I have up on the shelf over here. So this one has been on my list, so it was a book that I bought off of my list. And then of course, so we'll add that one as an option. And then of course, it's buy one, get one 50. And this is a book that's also, I've been seeing, it's been on my list. It's a short book. It is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. This is a Gabrielle Zevin book. I have read a couple of her books and I really enjoy them. And so all the books that I selected are off of my TBR list. So this one is also an option. And we are back having a fully packed TBR. So because July, I really don't have that much scheduled in July right now. I think I'm going to pick maybe 7 books and see if we can really tackle my TBR. I might even go for 8 and just really push myself, but this is a little bit out of control. I also am going to be seeing my sister over the 4th of July, and there's 2 books on here that she borrowed to me a while ago and I still haven't gotten to. Loath to Love You, I actually started and I just didn't really get into it, so I put it down and started reading some other things. So I think I was just not, I'd read a lot of romance books, so I was just not quite in the mood for a romance and I just wasn't getting into it. So I put it down, so that's back on the TBR. And then Love Theoretically, which is this one here, is also hers. So I'm hoping to be able to incorporate those two onto this TBR so I can get them read and back to her, because after the 4th, I don't know when I'm going to see her. Again, we don't have like plans set up, so I'd like to get those books back to her and returned so they are no longer on my shelves. Okay, now that I've rambled for like a while, let's get to picking. We'll do 7 or 8. We'll see how we're feeling, see how much of the books I'm excited to read are incorporated on here. So without further ado, pick number 1. Perfect, a romance book. I don't know if you can read that. Romance book, perfect. I think I am just going to, do I pick Loath to Love You since I've already started it? Or do I pick Love Theoretically, so I hopefully get into it and finish that one? I think I'm gonna do Love Theoretically. I'm gonna do Love Theoretically, hopefully get through this one, and then pick up Loath to Love You after I get through this one. So, romance book, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. It's our first pick. Let's pick some more. So far, so good, getting the books that I want on there. Also, if I can get Iron Flame on there, I would be much happy about that. Next one. A Name in the Title. Okay, I'm gonna need to look for this one, and we will figure that out. Okay, here are some options. I have American Prometheus, The Triumphant Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer. This one is a hefty book. It's a book I've been wanting to read for a while. It also has very tiny font, but that is an option. We could do the autobiography of Eleanor Roosevelt. Obviously, Eleanor Roosevelt is a name. Oh, there was a postcard left in here, so somebody left a postcard in here. I bought this book secondhand. Okay, that's an option. And then the other option is my new purchase, The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. I think because this one is new on here, I'm going to say no, even though I would love to pick up a nice short book. So let's put that one back. Honestly, I think I'm going with American Prometheus. So both Prometheus could count as a name, or J. Robert Oppenheimer. So that is a name in the title. Okay, next pick. Plant on the cover. Okay, let's take a look for which ones have plants on the cover. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Wayward. It has these like flowers on the cover. This one is more of a witchy fantasy book, it seems. So I think that'll fit nicely with nonfiction, romance. So we're gonna add Wayward by Amelia Hart. Okay, pick number, what are we on, 4? Historical fiction. Let's take a look. Here are my options. Both of these are borrowed books. Woman of Light looks like it talks about a family's history over time, so there is a historical element to it, so that could possibly work. But then The Little Wartime Library, it takes place in 1944 in London. And so this is more of a true historical fiction. So I think I'm gonna go with The Little Wartime Library. I haven't read historical fiction in a while, and that used to be like my genre. So that I would read like a lot of. So I think I'm gonna put The Little Wartime Library on there. Then it's also just kind of keeping this TBR diverse. So we have 4 books on there. Let's pick 3 or 4 more. Okay, next pick number 5. Name in the title. Do I have 2 of these? I must have put 2 names in the title in. I think I'm going to. Should I just do another name in the title? I think I am. That's hilarious that I pulled 2 names in the title. I added more into it in January, and obviously I added in some that I already had, but I think I'm gonna go with Fable. This is like a young adult fantasy. I've actually read this one before. I've read both Fable and Namesake, but I want to reread them before I read the other 2 books in the series, which is The Last Legacy and Saint. And Fable is the name of the main character in this story. So a young adult on here to, again, keep balancing this out. So we're at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll pick at least 2 more. Okay. Pick number 6. An author with initials. Okay, let's take a look and see which ones are authors with initials. I currently don't have any books on here with authors with initials. It's all their full first and last name. So, and there's not even like a initial for like a middle name. Like if I had any of like my Sarah J. Maas books on there, I would count one of those, but I do not have any. The only one was the Oppenheimer because I had Martin J. Sherwin. So we're going to set this one aside for now and repick. I will put that one back in to the jar because my TBR shelf changes, so it will inevitably get there. So we are still on pick number 6. Over 500 pages. Ooh. Iron Flame, are you over 500 pages? Please be over 500 pages. Okay, it is 623 pages, so we are adding Iron Flame to my TBR. It's pick number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might have to start stacking them on the side here because this is full, but that's okay. That was very exciting. So I've incorporated 2 of the books that I really want to read this next month on here. Let's see if I get lucky. So I'll pick number 7. Book set in a small town. I'm gonna have to do some more reading on the backs of these to figure that out. I'm gonna go with one of these 2 options. They're not like perfectly like a small town, what you'd think. This one takes place in Nantucket, so small town, I don't know. And then this one takes place out in the Yorkshire moors. So this one's like more in the countryside. So I don't know if either of these really fit the prompt that well. This one's been on my TBR for a while. This one I bought recently. Or I could do the Heaven Earth grocery store which takes place in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I don't know how small the town that is. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the Heaven and Earth grocery store because this one is a borrowed book to me and I'm just not quite feeling either of these. So I think I'll go with the Heaven and Earth grocery store takes place in a small town. And let me rearrange my stack and then we'll pick one more book. Okay, let's pick one last book. We are really down to it in here. Okay, last one for this month, for July. Animal on the cover. I feel like I've gotten this one quite a few times, but let's look for some animals on the cover. I'm going to go for Woman of Light. I know I've picked this book for animal on the cover before. It has a horse on the cover. I really want to read this book and I need to get around to it. So I think putting it on this TBR will help push me to actually read it. This also is a borrowed book to me, so I can read it and return it, and I will be doing another reading borrowed books coming up. We'll see how long that one takes me, but I really enjoy filming those and getting through books that are borrowed. So here's my 7 books. They are quite the hefty lot. I have no idea if I will get through all of these in July. I hope so. I might even tackle a few of these in June since there's about a week left, but first I am going to try to finish Under the Lilacs and Traveling to Infinity. We'll see. If I don't finish that one, it'll definitely just roll over into July because I've already started it, and I think I'm going to count that as a win just because it's nonfiction, so it takes a little bit longer. But let's go over all of the books that I picked for my July TBR, and then we'll get to reading. Okay, let's start with the ones I have on the side. Okay, name in the title, Fable by Adrienne Young. Woman of Light. This one was for animal on the cover. Ooh, dropping books here. Takes place in a small town, the Heaven and Earth grocery store. Over 500 pages, Iron Flame. Historical fiction, The Little Wartime Library. Plant on the cover, Wayward. My other name in the title, American Prometheus, The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer. And a romance book, Love Theoretically. So those are the, 8 books on my July TBR. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.